All right, black female bosses are causing all of this problem, All right, so let's tune in and see what this video is talking about because I think I understand where this video is going. Well, let's see.
I keep seeing them.
We're watching these videos like you're actually here with me. We're watching these videos like we're just having a discussion. We're talking. We're reasoning. All right. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
TikToks to post the comments that say this: Black women are the worst supervisors ever, and I learned how not to lead from Black women, and I will never work for a Black woman again.
I was actually looking for another video today when I came across some interesting clips. Black women in leadership. Now, this is interesting because in the Black American community, Black women are often looked at or respected for keeping the community together, being the maternal leadership of the community, doing everything they can to save the Black community, while Black men, on the other hand, and that's the narrative. Typically in the Black American community, there's no real criticism of Black women. And in fact, Black women are now being promoted more than ever before, not only in literature or online or in blogs, but the stereotype is that Black women can do anything that not only Black men can do, but men in general. They can run businesses, they are smart, they are intelligent, and in many cases, even more intelligent or more talented than their Black male counterparts. And for those of you who worked in the private sector like I have seen the number of Black women getting more opportunities in your traditional Fortune 500 companies. But the reaction from some people is a little different.
I'm talking about coming in power tripping. Like, what are you tripping for? And if you're not on their good side, meaning you're not like friendly with them outside of work, is extremely toxic and you really can't work for them.
Now, this is a brother who is just responding to a comment.
I think it's not just Black women, but actually white women as well, because are women in general. So I'm not categorizing it or anything. So it's right across the board, both Black and white women in general, bro. That's how they operate. That's how they be. I personally think women should be runners of countries and have businesses, because feelings gonna be involved and it's just not so fair. I know other person may attack me for this, but based off my personal life and based off all the years that I've been here, and I see how women personally run businesses. Most women, let me just be clear here, most women run businesses. Sometimes it's not worth it's not just
that
not
somebody
really
else
good.
has made, and he follows it up with this.
Not for every woman, but a lot of women cannot handle that power and it goes to their head. And you experience it, especially in the lower level jobs, like the retail.
Facts. A lot of these women, like, bro, I was working at this place and this lady got promoted at being a supervisor, not the CEO, not the operation manager or anything of the sort like that. Supervisor, bro. You basically watch over the minimum level staffs and stuff for it. That's all you do. And she take the position like she's the owner of the company, and that sucks to see how she's operating as if, like, bro, it's crazy. She's taking the thing way too she's acting like she's security, she's acting like she's the owner, bro, and you're just at a minimum level. Take it so personal and having feelings involved in it, harassing some stars for just doing some minimal stuff, some things that you could say, oh, just don't let it happen again, don't let me see you have respect and keep it pushing. No, it's writing a letter, sending it home and all that. Yeah, bro.
You're talking about fast food, warehouse, maybe not in the corporate, maybe y'all can correct me, but
In corporate too. incorporate too.
I've been working these low-level jobs, and it's all the same with black women.
Now, anybody can come out and say, listen, this is a black man and he's a misogynist. Of course, he doesn't respect black women in leadership. Now, this is interesting. He's talking about lower level positions. So obviously he's not doing very well himself. So that must be the reason for his criticism. But there's a problem with that.
I keep seeing them, the TikToks, the posts, the comments that say this: black women are the worst supervisors ever. And I learned how not to lead from black women. And I will never work for a black woman again. And the ones that really get me are the ones when I see black women specifically saying that their worst leadership experiences were under other black women, that they feel unsupported, disrespected, sabotaged, and even hated. And every time I hear it, it does something to me. Not because I don't believe people have had their bad experiences, but because I know the conversation is deeper than just bad leadership.
Now, here's a black woman herself saying the things that the brother before us was mentioning, okay? She's saying the same exact things. As she herself has heard other black women repeat the same things that he's saying. And she's not the only one.
I'm hearing things like working for a black woman is terrible. They can be a B. They're incompetent. They're difficult to work for and to work with.
It's one thing for the people as content creators to have this vantage point, but it's another to see the comments. And I want to go over them. Look at this. Black men, yes, but black women, hell no. Okay, this person, a black woman by the name of Mai, and as you can see, these dates are all different. White men are the best bosses I've ever had in corporate. Now, this is another person, the absolute worst. I'm dealing with it now. This is a black woman herself. You see someone else say this. As a black man, this has been an issue for me as well. So now black men are coming into the situation. Black women are horrible bosses, no lie. This is a sister saying the same thing. Camille, currently going through something similar. Okay. Another lady says, they have taught me what not to do as the leader. Down. I've had this experience twice. So now the commenters, many of them, are agreeing with the same framework as some of the content creators. But why is it that black women are getting a bad rap?
To other people, black women in leadership are put in such a tough position. If we're too nice, we're weak. If we're too direct, we're aggressive. If we're competent, we're intimidating. We don't get to make mistakes because we don't get grace. We don't get second chances, and we know it. Now, imagine black women who have spent years dealing with that type of pressure, fighting to be taken seriously, pushing through doors that were never meant for us, and having to constantly prove ourselves in spaces where we're the only one. Some of us had to lead from survival, building up walls to protect ourselves, some from unhealed wounds, some from exhaustion, and some of us have internalized the idea that we have to be tough to be respected.
After listening to what the sister's saying, I will take some level of agreement with her. Being a black person, let alone a black woman, in a leadership position, you're automatically going to be looked at or heavily scrutinized. Black men, of course, black women, for sure. Okay. And then also being a black woman supervisor, people may think that they can obviously get away with things. I'm almost for sure that happens. You know, people are going to try you. People are going to try to undermine you. I can definitely see that. And so if you're too nice, you are too weak. If you are too direct, you are aggressive. If you are too confident, you are intimidating. Okay. So she says that we don't get to make a mini mistake or the same mistake twice. I won't disagree with this because especially black women, if they're in, let's say, Fortune 500 companies and they are high level management, this will be an issue for black women in general. I can understand that. However, she gives, in my honest opinion, a very vague excuse. And this excuse is, you know, the pressure that we have to keep going. Many of us are operating on survivalism instinct, and, you know, we have to do so many things to be respected. And I get what she's trying to say or trying to get across, But the reality is this: nobody gives. And I'm going to give you an example why.
I was working as a clinical coverage determinations pharmacist for one of the large insurance companies. And my supervisor was a Black woman, and her supervisor, the director, was a Black woman. So I was just so excited to join this team. When I joined the team, I already had another contract with one of the major PBMs. I co-owned a pharmacy, so I had my other things going on, and there was no expression that there was a conflict of interest. So about a month into my employment with this particular health insurance company, I get a phone call from HR. The gentleman in HR, a white man, told me, hey, I know you divulged this information when you got hired. You made this disclosure that you owned this business and that you had this contract. However, your supervisor has brought it back to HR's attention that it may be a conflict of interest.
So here we have a sister that is a pharmacist, okay? I'm pretty sure she's a doctor of pharmacy. She is also a woman that owns her own business in the healthcare setting. Obviously, she's doing very well. And so when she applied for this job, she was excited that she'll be working right underneath a Black woman. And her manager was a Black woman. So this was something exciting for her. Okay. But the issue is that she disclosed the fact that she had another business, another contract in this job that she was taking, that it should not have any bearing on it. It was already disclosed. But then that information was brought back to HR. I believe the person in human resources was most likely a white person. And so they're saying, hey, listen, we don't understand why this is an issue, because when we hired you, this was something that was okay for us. But it gets worse.
The level of micromanagement and scrutiny that I faced by these two particular women was ridiculous. It was unlike anything that I have ever encountered before. As a matter of fact, of all the positions I have held, and I've held some pretty lofty positions, I ended up quitting this position. I don't think I lasted 60 days.
So the lady is already saying that I was under so much micromanaging from these Black women that I just ended up quitting. And I kind of want to get back to this whole idea that, this is not a bad stereotype, because, Black women, you have female judges, you have principals, you have doctors, you have military officers, you have a lot of Black women who lead successfully everywhere. Okay. However, the reality is that when you make an excuse for why your behavior is what it is, nobody cares. And that's something that Black people are just going to have to get over. This whole idea of explaining why Black female managers are turning off other Black employees, and I'm pretty sure if the Blacks are complaining about it, and obviously, you're probably going to be more rude to your own people first. So if Black women feel that you're difficult to deal with, and Black men feel that you're difficult to deal with, it also is understandable that other races are going to understand that. They don't care about your past experiences. And I'm going to tell you why that's important. Black women have achieved in the private sector or in the academic scene despite whatever issues that they had in life. I know some people that I went to undergraduate school with. I know people I went to medical school with. They have experienced tumultuous issues, tumultuous problems. And yet and still, they did not use that as an excuse to not perform. Nobody wants to hear why you are turning people off, why you feel, or why they feel rather, that you have a problem with a power role or a leadership role. And many people can say, well, it's because that Black women want to let everybody know that, they can also be or do what men can do. They also have the same ability as men. They also can be competitive, whatever the reason is. At the end of the day, we live in a world that is still very humanistic, and people tend not to care about your accomplishments. And one thing that I do see in comparisons to Black men is that when you go to somebody's Instagram profile, for example, I graduated medical school. I do not put on my Instagram profile, O'Shea Duke Jackson, BS degree, MD, And I'm not here to say that all black women do this or all women do this, but they are more likely to brag about their academic achievements. Doctors on their Instagram profile, who they are, what fraternity or sorority they're a part of, and that becomes a large part of their identity. And again, I can understand that doing very well and being successful is a great thing to do. But when you decide that you want to be a person that leads other people, it becomes more about the people than yourself. And that's something that all leaders, whether you're male or female, we have to realize. When you are in leadership of a church community, of a nonprofit, or any organization, it becomes more about the people that's in the organization and less about you. But so much in today's world, leadership is about the leader. Okay, who is the leader? Who is calling the last shot? Okay, who is making the last decision? The power to fire or hire and all of this. Instead of really focusing on the overall outcome of what the goal is. And this is what leadership is about in any community. I don't care if it's in the black community. I don't care if you're coaching football, professional sports, and all of that. Great leadership, number one, is keeping things on task. And again, black women, I would for sure would want to do that and to prove that they can be on time. They can finish things to the end. They can motivate people and get people together, and then also discipline. But ultimately, leading people is taking a step back, dealing with people's problems, understanding how everybody wants to be talked to, because you can't communicate with everybody the same way. I've had to learn how to do that as a man growing up, and understanding myself that, hey, you can't yell at everybody. There's some people that need that kind of motivation and some that don't. And the reality is that if black women have this negative stereotype from other black women, it means that even that black women don't even want to hear their own stories. People want to be treated with a certain level of respect. And what I'm hearing, even when you talk about black female politicians, like Monique Owen, and how rude she was to other black women, it was ridiculous.
She tends to bully, it looks like, senior citizens.
You'll see why East Point resident Mary Hall Rayford says that.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop you right there, or we're gonna stop the council meeting. I'm gonna have a point of order, and I'm gonna talk over you. This is gonna be one of those meetings y'all never seen before.
East Point Mayor Monique Owens cut her off during public comment with just under 3 minutes of Mary's allotted time remaining, and it happened to 2 other people at the same September meeting.
The outrageous claims. You're not going to sit here and assault me, lady I never met.
I mean, we saw this also with Tiffany Henyard and in the city of Dolton. But basically, it was just so much disrespect towards black women itself that I was really just disappointed, because I could never understand or see a black man talking to a woman in this magnitude. And it brings me to a certain idea that there is a lack of underlying respect that certain black women have for one another. Ultimately, as you get to see more black women take more leadership positions, whether they be religious or private sector situations, we're just getting back to what a lot of black men have been talking about for years, and now you're hearing what other black women are saying about it. And then the reality is that the lack of accountability problem that black men have been talking about, but once these black women get into leadership, some of them, they don't want to be held accountable either. And if they don't want to be held accountable by black men, they are for sure not going to be held accountable by you. And black women tend to not see this, they don't see it. They don't see that the same issues that black men are complaining about are one day possibly going to come back to them. And then when they figure it out, it may be too late. Now, again, I want to preface the fact that this is not all black women, but I just saw this. I wanted to discuss it today. But again, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson.
Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section, all right? A lot of female managers and stuff, they make the working environment very difficult. Basically, they're most focusing on the power they got and not listening to what the persons at the bottom level that know the structures of the business. No, not really the structure, but they're the one that is pushing the business to reach its fullest potential. They're the ones that are serving the customers. They're the ones that are listening to customers, not just customers, but the feedback. They're the ones that are out in the field and all these other things. And they don't understand the different levels of how to talk to persons, and it will definitely disrupt persons. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let me